Hey folks, Macke here with a special spur of the moment panic. We're gonna let you populate, let you jump in here. Wanted to talk GoPro. In the meantime, while you guys are joining, enjoy the movie in the background. We're gonna talk more about it later. Anyway, how you guys doing today? I was getting a ton of questions about GoPro, so I wanted to address them kind of proactively. I was gonna wait for Woodman to do a CNBC thing, but I frankly am a little worried about what the guy's gonna say anyway, and I wanted to address this because I got grown-up stuff to do in the middle. Okay, so GoPro, all-time lows below the IPO price, or pretty much right at the IPO price. This morning, 25 bucks is a stock that was, of course, $100 a year ago, 98 and change, and then it basically tumbled unrelentingly for the last year or so as they did a spot secondary for reasons that were unclear and kind of weaselly. They managed to raise a total of less than $100 million for the company and $500 million for the Woodmans, who put it into a foundation to be named later. None of which really concerns me that much because it's their personal financial planning and, investing is a grown-up game. What concerns me though, and why I tuned into the call, two things. One, you keep asking me about GoPro, and it always makes me nervous when people ask me about silly companies like GoPro. And two, I don't know whose side Woodman is on, but I'm frankly just a tiny bit concerned that it's almost certainly not yours. So when he gets on the call, this is again a guy whose company has lost $7.5 billion in value. Real human beings' money has been evaporated, and you can say they deserve it for buying GoPro stock. That's just fine, John Galt. You're a super hard guy, and to hell with the rest of the world. But it screws up my financial market when you rip people's faces off the way GoPro did with their spot secondary to raise money for the inside investors. So I want Woodman to be contrite. I don't need him to beg. I just need him to kind of understand people's pain. What he did instead was sort of a combination of being disingenuous and full of crap and kind of not really in tune with what's going on. He came out and he talked first about making a video of his family. That's why we got the video behind me here, how we had a pumpkin event and he was able to capture that only because of the technology of GoPro. I was taken aback, not least of Rich for the reason because last night I took my son to his first surfing camp, and I went ahead and took pictures of it, and I took the Woodman challenge. He said without GoPro it would be impossible to edit and create footage of this personal touching event in his life in less than 5 minutes. I think he said 3 minutes. So what I did was I did exactly that. I took the challenge with no prior intentions of capturing this event for posterity. I got pictures of my son's first surf. I even put in an Apocalypse Now reference and downloaded the tune Pipeline by the band. What's the band's name? I'll remember it later. Anyway, it's an awesome surf tune. It's a guitar music. You can hear it in the background here. It's cooking. I did this in 6 minutes. Charlie don't surf, I do, smells like victory. So Woodman's kind of either not aware of the existence of smartphones, or he thinks the investors aren't aware of the existence of smartphones, or he's never actually used iMovie and realized that any idiot, including this one, can download the stuff and instantaneously edit this film. It took me 5 minutes, including downloading the song Pipeline by the Shantays. Quintessential rock song. It's a memory for a lifetime. So I'm glad Mr. Woodman's able to enjoy his family. We all do. I sure would like those $7.5 billion back if I was an investor. The other thing that he said, which was just kind of strange, was he talked about how he had been out surfing for 8.5 straight hours a couple weekends ago using the GoPro session camera, the one responsible for this enormous ass kicking in the stock price because it didn't sell. And he was able to capture every wave that he caught and didn't catch, a little self-deprecating humor, and only used 20% of the battery. So here's a list of things you don't do when your stock's down 20% at all-time lows and 67% below where you did a spot secondary last year. You don't talk about surfing for 9 straight hours. I just don't want you to talk about it. Maybe you can surf, maybe that's where you find your zen. I don't care, but you know what? You are crushing investors out there. They are getting annihilated, and you're just demonstrably showing that you have zero shits to give. And, hey, would you like to see my family pictures? You actually can see his movie online if you want to. He made it with a GoPro. Apparently, it's impossible to use other products to do that. particularly, I don't know, it was just weird. I don't know. So stop asking me about GoPro. No, I'm not buying the dip. You can buy it if you want to. I looked at GDP just because maybe this is a consumer thing. Maybe people were going to make a big deal out of the fact that consumers aren't buying toys anymore. We're buying toys just fine. 3.5%, 3 something. What was it? GDP was fine for consumers. We're the best consumers in the world, damn it. This is a GoPro specific problem. They're making cameras. Have you bought a camera lately? You haven't, because you have a camera in your pocket. It's called your phone. Anyway, stop buying GoPro. For my money, that's not really investment advice. You can knock yourself out, do what you want. I'm not touching the stock. I'm a little worried because it's kind of psychopathic behavior to be that incapable of feeling empathy of your investors. So just from a human being perspective, it seems like it would have been nice if you gave a shit about the people you sold stock to at 75, because let me tell you who they weren't. They weren't institutional investors. They were mom and pop. They didn't know any better, and now they're down 2/3, and that money's never, ever coming back. So that's my take on GoPro. We'll have more later. We'll talk about whatever you want. Get your Q's and your A's ready. Actually, just get your Q's ready. I'll come up with the answers. Ignore GoPro. Make videos of your kids. It's fun, it's fast, it's easy. Anyone can do it with just about any product.